Welcome, Earthlings and beyond. January 7th, 2025, year of our Lord. Hey guys, good evening, good afternoon, depending on when you're watching, where you're watching from. I hope everyone is exercising their rights. Rights are like muscles, and if we don't use them, we end up losing them. Sit back, crack one open, go enjoy yourself. And I look forward to us hopefully learning something and thinking about some important topics. So, the Prince of Woke, Justin Trudeau, has left, but not really. It turns out that Justin has left his foot in the door, okay, for the Liberal Party to elect a new liberal, woke, socialist Cavodian. Sorry, I butchered that. Cavodian. Trudeau. Okay, let me put into perspective how woke Trudeau is. One time he went to a college up there and was speaking, and there was a young lady there, and she was like going over some stuff, and the student had mentioned mankind, like for all of mankind, and he stopped her and goes, "Hey, we don't say mankind, we say people kind." This is how insane this guy was. Now, just to put it into perspective, in Trudeau's farewell speech, he mentioned his three greatest achievements, okay? His COVID response, okay? Climate change, and of course, everyone's favorite, Ukraine spending. Look, let's remember what he did during COVID, right? I mean, he was like, he was just as bad as California, right? Shutting the highways down, having sheriffs go into the churches, arresting pastors. He was a complete mental midget, okay? When it came to COVID. It was like, here we have the most soy boy person ever, and he's like calling the shots and bullying people, right? Then his second achievement, climate change, right? So what's climate change? Climate change is basically, hey Matthew, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, climate change is basically climate welfare, right? So what the climatists want to do is they want to steal from one group and give it to another. Now, who benefits from climate change? The wealthy, right? Hey, Amy, how you doing? I'm glad that you made it. Trust me, I will make this worth staying up for you, okay? I promise. So climate change is basically welfare change, right? It basically steals money from the poor and working class and gives it to the wealthy, right? They do everything from getting free golf carts. Yes, climate change is about giving away free golf carts. Solar panels for mansions, right? All sorts of, you could buy carbon credits, right? So you can fly your private jet, right? And magically, it doesn't have any more carbon. The whole thing is complete nonsense. And then, of course, we know Ukraine spending is nothing more than a huge slush fund, right? It's a huge washing of money, right? Where the wealthy and the powerful get rich off of basically destroying the country of Ukraine, killing Russians and killing Ukrainians. Now, the thing about Canada is that I know right now there's a lot of celebration about this guy leaving, right? Because he was so horrible, like us as Americans, we're like, wow, thank goodness, that guy's gone. Because we care about Canada, right? We want our neighbors to do good, right? But here's the deal, right? You better believe that the Liberal Party in Canada, they're going to put somebody much worse than Trudeau. You heard it here first. They are going to put the most woke piece of garbage, okay, in place of Trudeau, okay? So, don't be fooled, right? Remember when Bill Clinton was elected, right? And Hillary tried putting Hillary Care, right? Republicans said, oh, you know, this is the worst, right? You can't get worse than this. And then who came? Barack Hussein Obama, right? Then Obama comes, right? Blowing away Clinton, right? Then you say, well, you can't get worse than Obama, right? Then you get Biden. So you better believe whoever comes after Biden will be far worse than Biden, right? Because look at the direction of the Democrat Party. Just like up in Canada. They are not, this is not the end of wokeness, right? These people are just getting started, okay? What I believe is going to happen, they now have their back to the wall, okay? And they are going to try every trick in the book to sabotage and do whatever they got to do to get power back, okay? Or to keep power. So watch Canada, because this isn't over, right? They're not, this Trudeau is just the beginning. Now, off to Hillary started HMO Advantage plans, Medicare, worse crap. Yeah, well, look, Amy, oh, they were talking about AOC making a run recently. Is that right, Matt? Look, I'm going to answer Amy's first, and I'm going to get to you, Matt. So, look, we have proof, right? We've been alive long enough, right? Look at what Medicare and Medicaid has done to we've gone over this, have done to the medical industry in our country, right? Every time government gets involved in something, they destroy it, right? And just like the Clintons have helped to destroy healthcare, so has Obamacare, right? All of these ridiculous programs, right, end up screwing up the free market, making it more expensive, right? Reducing service and increasing price, right? That's what they do. And Matthew, you know what? You're right. You know, I was saying, if you remember back about 4 or 5 years ago, I said, watch, they're going to run AOC at some point. And now you're saying that they're talking about it. And look, she's a darling of the socialist wing. You know, look, the truth is Bernie Sanders would have won had the DNC not stolen that election. Look, the DNC, this wasn't the first election that the DNC has screwed over their voters, right? They did it back when Bernie Sanders ran, okay? Bernie Sanders would have won by 10, 15 points had the mainstream media, social media, the corporate, the corporate masters weren't in control, right? But they wanted Hillary, right? Because Hillary, you know, she's the elitist, right? She's the one that's going to look out for Wall Street, for Wall Street, for the big corporations, okay? Where Bernie wasn't really for that. Bernie is really about redistributing wealth. That's his gig, right? And so, but Bernie's message was very similar to Trump's, if we remember. Hey, Donna. And so Bernie had a real chance of winning. And it was because of the DNC that Bernie lost. Bernie fell flat on his face. And, you know, and so we had Hillary running against Trump because of that. Because the DNC doesn't like to play fair. Now, going on to my second story. So, the dollar share of the global reserve has just hit a 30-year low. Okay? Central banks right now are piling into gold. So it looks like Trump's threat against countries who de-dollarize is failing right before our eyes, okay? Here's the truth about it, okay? You shouldn't have to threaten other countries to use your currency or your money, okay? We have to understand something, okay? We don't have money, okay? It's not money, it's currency. Currency and money are two different things, okay? We have fiat currency, okay? And the fact of the matter is that our politicians, our whole lifetime, has kicked the can down the road, okay? Mike Johnson just kicked it even further, okay, with Republicans and Democrats by raising the debt ceiling, okay? What's happening is foreign centralized banks are realizing, hey, we own all this American paper. Are we ever going to pay it back, right? Are we ever going to, we're loaning America all this money. We're holding all these dollars, right, that are burning in inflation, right? Are we ever going to get our investment back? And they know that they're not, right? So they're following the Bobby Bones plan, which is buying real stuff, gold, silver, real assets, oil, tobacco, housing, things that people need, right? Healthcare, right? Things that people need. Nobody needs dollars, right? You only need dollars to pay taxes, right? So the fact of the matter is that the world is de-dollarizing. And what's going to happen, right? When the world stops using dollars, okay, those dollars come home to roost. And that's where you get hyperinflation. I got to go. I just want to say I really like the live sessions. You do an awesome job. Thank you so much, Matt. I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. You're a great guy. And I can't wait to see you on the next one. So look, this is what happens. Hillary will try to run again for president. Will? I hope to God not. All of us, I hope not. God help us all, if that is what you mean. I don't know if Hillary will run again. She might. I mean, now that we allow 80-something-year-olds to run, I guess she could run again and again and again. I don't see why she can't run again. I hope that she don't. I think she'll be terrible for the country. She won't be good for the dollar. She won't be good for health care. She won't be good for the price of housing or food, right? Because she's a big government liberal. So let's hope, Amy, that Hillary does not run. Let's hope. But I will say this. Trust me, if you think Hillary is bad or you think Biden is bad, watch who they put up next time. I'm telling you, whoever they put up is going to be far worse than Biden. I said that back with Bill Clinton. I said that back with Obama. And I'm saying it right now with Biden. Whoever they put will be far worse because that's the direction leftists are going. So all these Republicans that have a false sense of security because Trump is in, let me tell you, Trump only has 2 years. He doesn't have 4. He actually has 2 because you got midterms. Trump right now in the House only has 1 or 2 seats extra. That's it. When he ran the last time, he had 45 seats, okay, extra. And we just found out, because they just exposed themselves, that 70% of the Republicans in the House are rhinos anyway. So I think Trump has a huge uphill battle, okay, to cut spending, to fix the dollar, to help inflation, okay? He's got a huge task ahead of him. I hope he's successful. But as I'm watching everything coming, my hope is dwindling as the days go on. Because here's a story 3. This is another reason why I don't believe Trump is going to have a successful presidency. One of Trump's campaign cornerstone promises was to put American workers first, okay? Labor is a commodity, okay? When you have too many people bidding for the same job, it lowers wages, okay? So, if I'm an employer, right, I'm looking for the best deal I can get. If you're an employee, you're looking for the best deal you can get, right? So if there are less of you, right, wages go up because I have less people to pick from. But if there are more of you, right, artificial, because we're bringing in people, right, they shouldn't be here, right, it lowers your wages, right? So this is just basic economics. Trump has now come out agreeing with Elon and Vivek to expand the H-1B visas at home. They want to import more foreigners to do American jobs, okay? Now, the argument that Vivek made was that we're just stupid people. You know, we watch Saved by the Bell. You know, we watch soap operas. You know, we're just a bunch of idiots, right? And then you've got Elon who says, look, you know, I just want to be able to get the brightest and the smartest people around the world. Then you've got Trump saying, look, you know, this is great for the country. You know, we got to bring more people in, right? Now, here's the truth, okay? We have 17 million people with degrees in STEM, okay? 9 million of those people actually have a job in STEM. 3 million people don't even have a job at all who have degrees, okay, in STEM, okay? The rest of them are doing other things. Now, why are there so many people who have these degrees, master degrees and, you know, all of these degrees? Why aren't they working, right? Why aren't they working in Silicon Valley, right? Why aren't they working for Elon Musk? I'll tell you why. I did the numbers for you, okay, so you didn't have to. It turns out that the people that Vivek and Elon import, and Trump, who import these foreign workers, okay, make an on average $40,000 less per year than their American counterpart. So, imagine Amy being a nurse and you got to compete with a nurse that comes from India that'll do it for $40,000 less a year, right? I mean, you can't compete, right? And there are other major tax advantages, okay? Like not paying into Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, right? There are a lot of other tax advantages to bringing in these people, okay? So it's not just the 40 grand, right? There's other tax advantages. So Americans are getting priced out of these high-paying jobs. Now, America First was, I thought, about American jobs, right? Putting Americans back to work. So, you know, we have the world walking away from the dollar, okay? Because they know that they're not going to get paid back. We know that now Trump wants to import more foreign workers, okay, at discount. I hope Trump not playing with us with manipulation and lies. Well, you know, Amy, you know, to me, he's not sounding like he did on the campaign trail. And now I'm going to get into Greenland, okay? Okay, first, let me just state for the record, this is about one of the most dumbest, most ignorant, ridiculous, I guess, plans that I've ever seen, okay? You know, the whole purpose, okay, and I'm going to tell you what the real purpose for taking over Greenland is, okay? The real purpose is to increase the military-industrial complex, okay? That's the only purpose, right? And what they're doing is, what Trump is doing, and the people who are working for him, is trying to scare you by saying, oh, pretty soon China and Russia are going to be floating their ships up there in the Arctic Circle, right? First off, even if we took Greenland, let's say we took Greenland, right? First off, they only have 55,000 people there, okay? So there are more people who live on Long Island, okay, than actually live in Greenland. So they can't even say, oh, there's going to be a big tax base, okay? Also, they have natural resources there, but it's very hard to get to, right? The terrain, under ice, a lot of ice and snow, very difficult to get those resources, right? So you're talking about, it is not fine. If it was financially feasible to do mining in Greenland, right, we'd be doing it, right? Again, it's not about that. This is about expanding the military-industrial complex. And here's another thing, okay? We are $36 trillion in debt, really heading fast to $50 trillion. I'm making a bet right now that before Trump leaves office, he will hit 50 trillion. And we're going to hit 50 trillion without, we can't afford Greenland, Newfoundland, Switzerland, okay? Any of the lands, okay? We can't afford, okay? We can't even afford to rebuild the roads in this country, okay? We can't even afford the infrastructure, okay? We can't afford Social Security, okay? Social Security is going broke, right? We shouldn't be talking about buying Greenland, right? It is a ridiculous thing to throw out there, okay? Now, I see, yeah, well, Julie, who's going to pay for that is you, if you're paying taxes, right? I'll be paying for it. Amy will be paying for it, right? A lot of people will be paying for Greenland, okay? This is absolutely ridiculous, right? Countries around the world are losing faith in the dollar, and, you know, they know we're not going to pay them back, right? So what are we going to do? We're going to print up a bunch. First off, where is the money coming from, okay? When you're $36 trillion in debt, right, we should be thinking about, you know, how to cut government, right? How to save money, right? You can better believe that any fake numbers that they put out, oh, if we take Greenland, look at all the, you know, money that we'll be making, right? Every time government tries to do something, right, they lose money, okay? We're losing money right now, okay? Adding Greenland is only going to lose even more money, right? And if I was a citizen of Greenland, I wouldn't want the IRS in my business. ICU, psychiatric nurse, and they can't even take physician's order correctly. Wow, that's pretty that's pretty wild stuff there, Amy, about that with the ICU. So look, you know, this is a complete, you know, this is solely for the military-industrial complex. Look, Russia, right, when Trump became president in 2016, Russia, the first thing Putin did was he floated a nuclear submarine 100 miles off our coast, okay? Now, in true Trump fashion, he says, oh, I hope that submarine comes close because I'd like to blow it out of the water, right? But, you know, that's Trump being Trump. But if we took over Greenland, right, so what, right? Because they can just go 100 miles off the coast and they can float their ships there anyway, right? So what's the purpose of this? The purpose is to increase the military-industrial complex. And trust me, there's big money in military spending, and these people are greedy and they want more money. So, look, government should be working on preventing a dollar crisis or a sovereign debt crisis, but instead we're getting more debt ceiling raises, right? Government should be preventing wars, right? Preventing wars. We should be preventing foreign aid, right? We should be preventing illegal immigration, right? We should be preventing corporate welfare, right? We should be preventing bailouts, right? We should be preventing all regulations that prohibit work, right? People from working, right? Allow people to work, right? We should eliminate fiat currency, go back to sound money, right? I always say, banks, all banks used to have treasure in their vaults, right? In their vaults. And now, what is it? It's nothing but paper and IOUs, right? Wouldn't it be nice if your money was backed by something, right? We should be preventing central banks from manipulating currencies, right? We should be preventing government from picking winners and losers, right? We also should be preventing government from theft and redistributing money. So look, we're getting a big screw job. Look, today, I watched the Trump press conference, and I got to tell you, he was up there saying really wild stuff like, we don't need Canada's cars, we don't need their milk, we don't need their stuff, basically. And just like I was saying earlier, how, labor is a commodity, right? And that when you bring in artificial labor, right, from other countries, what happens is it lowers the price of labor, right? So, when Canada brings in their milk or they bring in their cars, right, what happens is it increases the volume of stuff, right? So what happens is that lowers prices, okay? Where are we going to get the milk from, right? If we say, hey, we don't want your milk, we don't need your cars, right? We don't need your stuff, okay? You know how long it takes to retool a country, right? If we had to produce all that stuff, okay, it would take years before we could produce all that stuff. Now, we should be working on becoming a productive society again, right? We want to put Americans back to work, right? But we don't want to cut our nose to spite our face, right? It's an old saying. And so what we need to do is, in order to make America more productive, is not go into trade wars, right? I explained how tariffs are a tax, okay? And so when we if Trump says, hey, I'm going to put 100% tariffs on Canada, right? All those goods that come into the country, right? Well, guess what Canada does? Canada just says, okay, well, if we're not going to sell them to you, we'll sell them to the next highest bidder, right? But we miss out on the stuff, right? We trade dollars for their stuff, right? So in order for us to become more productive, what we have to do is get government out of the way, right? And the best way to get government out of the way is to not buy stupid things like Greenland, right? Not expand the military-industrial complex, not allow illegals to come in, not allow power freaks like Vivek and Elon to import labor cheap, right? Stop bailing out corporations, right? Stop prohibiting people from working or hiring people, right? Create a currency that the world wants, right? Look, the lights are flashing in the economy, okay? And right now the bond market is screaming. Gold is screaming, silver, right? All of these things are screaming that, hey, inflation is taking off, right? And so, that's right, Amy, his mouth gets him in trouble, but I hope that people are listening because, I see, I will say that this time, a lot of Trump voters pushed back against Elon and Vivek, and I was very happy to see that because, again, Trump's whole campaign was about putting America first, okay? And I don't care how you word it, how you package it, okay? Bringing in foreign labor is not putting in America first. I'm sorry, right? Also today, now that I remember, in the Trump conference, he basically is threatening war in Gaza if they don't bring back the captive Americans that are over there, the hostages, which he even admitted are probably dead anyway, right? So if they're dead, right, what are we going to go to war for, right? They're dead, right? But again, that is not that is not what we voted for, right? I thought Trump was the one that was going to prevent wars. He today said the Middle East, is going to be on fire. Basically, it's going to be the worst thing the Middle East has ever seen. Okay, that's what he's threatening, and this has to be done by the time he gets sworn in. Okay, so for anyone thinking Trump's not going to go to war or he's putting America jobs first, well, I just disproved both of those. Now hopefully Trump bluffs and we get our people back, right? And I'm sorry for what happened to those people, right? And I want them to come home, right? But should we put men and women on the ground over there, right? I don't believe so. I like Christopher Columbus because Columbus had the common sense to go around. Columbus was willing to sail off the edge of the earth to avoid the Middle East. Maybe we should try the same thing, right? Because there is no war in the Middle East that has worked out for America. Not one. So I hope, I know, Amy. It's look, that's why I'm doing this, right? I'm doing this. Again, I want Trump to succeed. I say it every single night. I want him to do good for the country. I want Trump to be the best president we've ever had, right? So I'm definitely not a Trump hater. But we have to tell the truth of what we see. And right now, he's talking about Greenland. He's talking about possibly kicking off a war. Oh, also, he's also talking about renaming the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. Okay? Like, did we vote for that? Right? Is that like on the issues of stuff that I just brought up? Is changing the name Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of America, like on our top priority, right? Does that help a senior buy food, right? Does that, help a patient get health care, right? Does this help starving children? No, of course, this is all nonsense. This is for people who have nothing to do all day, but it's just gossip. It's just all gossip bullshit, to be honest. But again, it's a distraction. It's a distraction from the economy, right? It's a distraction from inflation going up and not down. It's a distraction from savings being destroyed, right? Look at housing. Oh my God. Housing is now taking it on the chin. Prices are now, it's costing more to be in the house, right? The same house you were in 10 years, right? Now the price is going down, but it's costing you more to stay in it, right? Changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico doesn't fix any of that, right? Greenland doesn't fix any of that, right? It actually makes it worse, right? And so, we got to stay on the ball, right? We got to keep our toes on it. And, yeah, that's right, Julie. Yeah, it doesn't help your bills. Yeah, he really was talking crazy, Amy. I got to be honest. Look, I hope, like I said, I hope that, they can do some good stuff, but we'll see. Look, I'm going to keep it short tonight. I went over, several different topics. Today was a long day for everybody. And I really hope that everyone has a great night. I really appreciate everybody. And please remember, speech. There's a reason why speech is the First Amendment, right? And there's a reason why the Second Amendment is after the First, right? To help protect our rights, okay? Rights are like a muscle, and if we don't use them, we lose them, right? So we have to stick together, right? We have to call out the government, right? When they do something good, we should talk about it, right? And when you do something bad, we should talk about it. We just need to be honest about what the state of play is. But I thank everybody for watching. I hope everybody has a blessed evening, has a great night, and I'll see you on the next one. Please like, share, comment, hit the YouTube link, subscribe. There's a lot of good videos up there, and I appreciate you. I love you, and I'll talk to you later. Thank you. Good night.